Hi, welcome to Toy Kind of Mood. I'm the host today, Ronnie. We're joined today with recurring guest, KJ.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
And we got first-time alum, long-time bud, Kevin. How you doing?
How's it going?
Good. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, a little background in collecting?
So I, being raised like as an only child, I was like basically, raised with toys because those were my friends as a kid growing up. And well, I had a little break in between. Ninja Turtles was the last thing I collected, and I started collecting again at 17, and I never looked back. I got back in with the Star Wars, that old Powers of the Force line. I had all those figures, and then I got into the GI Joe 25th anniversary. Then basically every vintage figure that they reissued, the He-Man Master Universe and the She-Ra line that they did in Matty Collector. So I just have all that in Marvel Legends, and it's just a fun like outlet. It's just
Right.
something that I really enjoy.
Yeah, it's definitely a time to bring a little back joy in our lives.
Definitely.
With the news and today, and everything's always breaking. And I mean, even today, we're speaking about breaking news. We're gonna start top of the show here. Breaking news, we got literally minutes ago, the Dark Knight Death Metal collection. They have some editions going. By what I've seen, they have the Death Metal version of Superman. They have the Death Metal Wonder Woman, and they also have the Robin King.
Yeah.
I know. What do you guys think of those figs? You guys collect the Death Metal series at all?
With McFarlane toys, I admire from afar because I'm a humongous Batman freak. You can't see my Batmobile collection, but it's pretty extensive. And once I get one of those, I almost got the Grim Knight. And if I got that Grim Knight, I might have not paid rent today. So I have to be very careful when it comes to DC Multiverse and Dark Knight's Metal. But everything's looking vicious so far. They're only getting better.
Yeah, definitely. What do you think, Kev?
I personally don't collect the McFarlane DC line because I don't know, with the McFarlane it's a little bit of I've got a love-hate relationship. I love his Spawn figures and I like what he's doing with that Kickstarter. Spawn looks amazing, and I'm actually kicking myself for not jumping on that. But with his DC figures, they're not quite like collector. I mean, they are collector friendly, but they're not exactly like toys. Still, the plastic's very stiff. The paint looks a little bit, I don't know, looks a little spotty.
Yeah, they're almost articulated statuettes rather than action figures, and it sort of has like a garage feel versus the sheen that Hasbro or Mattel has. And some people, they dig that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not for me personally. Like I look at people's collections, like Travis's collection. It's amazing the way he's got them all displayed and whatnot. And I even painted that custom Superman head for him for I don't know what version of Superman that was, but he showed me the picture of how he wanted it painted, and I painted it. And those look great, but it's just not my taste.
Yeah, I totally understand what you're saying, KJ, about that. Like they have like a matte finish. They don't have a sheen to them or like a polished look. Personally, I've loved McFarlane toys since they were literally solid pieces of plastic. They were non-posable at all at one time. Through the years, especially with this new Dark Knight Death Metal series, they have added more articulation. You're not going to get 47 points of articulation like you do with Star Wars figs or other Hasbro toys that are meant to be bent and played with and posed. These really are a picturesque figure that you would put on a mantle. Personally, I'm psyched. I really like the look of them. I'm a Superman fan. I'm a Batman fan, Superman fan. I want to see what it looks like. I want to see how it is. I want to see everything that it has. The other thing is they're also bringing back the Build-A-Fig with these new Dark Knight Death Metal figs. And by what I've seen, it's supposed to be Darkseid, a Death Metal version of Darkseid. That might be pretty cool. I mean, that aspect. Are you guys into Darkseid at all? Is there anything you would want to like maybe cost you to buy the fig just to Build-A-Fig, or would you go on a second market and say the hell with it and just buy it?
Well, like I said, I'm not really into the McFarlane figures, so like I'm not gonna buy it. Probably Travis will, or you'll buy it.
Yeah, right.
I'll get to admire it from afar, just like Kevin said.
You'll definitely see our picks.
I just collect so much other stuff. It's just I can't go down that rabbit hole.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, same thing with you, kind of KJ. You kind of you're not really into the collecting of them, but you like them from afar, kind of thing, or?
Yeah, I will say this. I'd rather just pay the upcharge on the secondary market months after the fact if it's something that I want and that I may have missed out. I just finished getting an X-Men retro collection based on the Konami arcade line. And like, if I had gotten it day of, it would have been $20 per fig, right? So it is what it is. If there's something like, oh man, Snyder Cut, Ferocious, Dark Side, I need it, then hey, then I'll just get it. For me, time is the ultimate commodity. I can always make more money. So with my collection, it represents the time invested since childhood. Every comic book I read, every show I watched. And that's what I really dig with it. So yeah, if someone, I can help someone out with about 5, 10, 15 extra bucks for getting it when I didn't get the chance, but that's okay.
Yeah, so I know both of you guys are, well, I know at least you, Kevin, are into, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, since we've had our little chats back and forth. Another breaking news topic is the custom Ninja Turtle party van coming out of Malaysia, with hopes of NECA coming out with it as well. Did you guys happen to check that out? What are your thoughts on the first images of that?
You show me the images, I'm blown away by it. Kevin did say it would be a little pricey and probably more than likely NECA would be cheaper to buy. However, it could be a Target exclusive, and we all know. I mean, do we want to talk about a Target exclusive? We don't really want to talk about Target exclusives right now. This isn't that kind of show. But he said it would be $225. I think the exchange rate is what you said. I don't know how I would want to rock that, because like I'd be willing to spend like $300 on a Thundercats tank. So why wouldn't I spend $225 on a turtle van? Right. So like it's not the price for me. First of all, I'd like to get a link, because you showed me the link, but I can't get to it through Insta because I'm not on Insta.
Yeah, I am, and still I couldn't click it either. It was just part of the text that the person put in the chat. You'd have to copy and paste the link.
Yeah, I can't. I'll have to copy and paste. I haven't even seen it. Like, I haven't gone to the website and seen how I can purchase this thing if I want to. And it comes from Singapore. I bought things from overseas before Robot Kingdom. I buy things from all the time, especially those Turtle 2-packs, because they're impossible to find in Los Angeles. So I was able to jump on that Splinter pre-order. So I'm not really worried about the getting it shipped to me, because a lot of overseas, especially like from that part of the world, they pack it really well. Yeah. So I think probably it's just that it's not going to be an authentic, NECA made turtle van. It's not going to have like it's
coming from the land of bootlegs.
Yeah, it's not really bootleg per se, because it's so high quality, but it's third party, so it's not really like an official thing. But it looks very official, and it's great. And I'm impressed with it, what I've seen so far, because all 4 turtles can fit inside the van.
Yep. Yeah. So what do you think, KJ? Any quick thoughts on that?
Just coming from being a big Transformers fan as well, we know all about that third party stuff. I would say some people will probably grab it just because it's the ultimate flex and just doing it now, right? Instead of waiting for spring or summer 2021 for a NECA van. There's a lot of really cool 3D stuff that's going on. So we'll get into that later. But there are all sorts of parts and accessories, vehicles, So I was tempted. I saw those pictures. I was like, "Give me!" And I was like, "Scar!" Because
I hit the brakes real quick, right?
Exactly. My last import was the SH Figure Arts Beskar Mandalorian, and I lucked out. I got that in the child, and because I got it from Amazon Japan, I paid the lowest price they had with their pre-order guarantee, even international. And some cats are paying like $150, $200 right now. So it really just depends on how bad you want something and whether it's worth it to you. And I think I'm fine with waiting. The NECA or NECA Turtles line has been torturous because people haven't been able to get essential figures out of it. So I'm one of those types. It's like, I'm just not gonna bother right now. I had my time with Playmates. I have my time with that, right? Because it would be very irritating.
Yeah, it definitely does, And these kind of off-brand figs, they put you in a good mood. They make you happy because you're getting stuff like you couldn't get anywhere else, or you have to wait a year. And it's one of those things like kind of push us into our next segment. Gives me a kind of mood. I'm feeling kind of crafty mood right now. I'm feeling, exactly. This is the meat and the potatoes of the show, guys. This is what our topic of the show is. We're going into custom figs, taking what they won't give us and making it ourselves.
Correct.
All right. We're going to start off with we're gonna discuss GI Joe. Because I know GI Joe is a big modding community, whether it's the new ones, old ones, the 3/4 inch ones. KJ, you have an experience, life experience that kind of inspired you to collect. Why don't we touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, I have an affinity for GI Joe. My family's a military family. My dad, my uncles, even cousins of mine have served. And growing up as a kid, a lot of the few places I could really see myself in media, whether it was the cartoon or the comics, was GI Joe. So a lot of these heroes meant a lot to me as a kid, where other kids, like my older brother or my older cousins, they may have not had that, right? And it's like they didn't have Winston Zedmore, they didn't have Dre LaForge. So GI Joe meant the world to me. Playing with Roadblock and Sergeant Stalker and everyone else. And it stuck with me. And my dad's retired Army, so I think he enjoyed getting that for me and my brother, and like watching us play, him playing with us and whatnot. He'd be Cobra. I was like, "We're gonna get you, Cobra!" And I still remember all the action figures, all the play sets, all the vehicles I still had. So I'm having a ball right now. The classified series has gone a long way to keeping me sane in 2020.
Yeah, as long as you can get them. I mean, if you can get them, right? I mean, we know we've all had issues with it. Now, you have a specific figure that you wanted to show today. Starting off, something that you customized. If you want to show that, let's dive right in.
Yes, let's start off with Doc. So Doc is the field medic for the Joes. Rushing into battle, he may not have an assault rifle, but he'll have a stretcher, and he'll drag someone 2 clicks if he needs to save them. So here he is. This here is Doc. And I ended up using Duke as a base. In fact, I have Duke right here. Let's go ahead and grab him. So I'll even show you the side by side. So here's Duke and here's Doc. And Duke is a great base because he has like a very common shirt, has buttons, pouches, that kind of thing. You put on some primer. And I love Vallejo's surface primer. They come in different colors. So usually you use a gray or a white or a black primer, but using a colored primer allows you to skip a step and retain more of the detail so that you're not just putting on a gray primer and then you're trying to layer on color. You can start with color. So this is a Desert Tan primer. I used Nick Fury from Captain Marvel, a young Samuel Jackson sculpt. I borrowed glasses from Cobra Island Roadblock. He doesn't mind. And I was able to get this helmet also painted with Desert Tan primer. You can go to Black Ops Toys. They have a storefront on eBay, but you can also go directly to their site. There's also Monkey Depot. Crazy Figure is a great line that does 1/12 scale figures, but theirs are like $90 or $100. But you can get accessories and you can use that for detailed work like that. So it means a lot to me to have a figure like this. I was inspired by a photo I saw on just a G.I. Joe group on Facebook. Talking with modders, talking with customizers, it's a great community. They'll give you the recipes. Like if I come up with a recipe, I'll tell them exactly how I did it. Each figure I use, where I got the parts, how much, where to go to get cheap versions of it. You can go to overstock.com and get a lot of stuff. You can go add a figure in your Amazon cart. They'll tell you when the price decreases. So if you're not careful, it can get pricey. So the best way to do this is go for the maximum, but be very cost efficient with it. So yeah, Doc is a lot of fun. And I did not want to wait for Hasbro to release a Doc figure. They probably won't.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, I need it now. And I have it. So it was a lot of fun bringing this dude to life.
Yeah.
It looks really good.
Yeah, it does. So I know you have a little more to show us, a little more tundra, a little more alpine, I guess you would say.
Yes. And I'm glad you brought that up because alpine allows me to get into really the process of it, right? So I'll go to a site, say like yojo.com. They have a lot of the classic figures, 3 3/4, dating all the way back to 1982. And G.I. Joe as a line goes all the way back to the 60s, the 70s with the Venture Team and all that stuff, right? So I try to pay homage to those original designs and sculpts. They were a lot of fun, fired my imagination up as a kid. So with Alpine, he's the mountain trooper. He's got the hat, he's got the glasses, got the mustache. Once again, another black hero, means a lot to me personally. So how do I do this? How do I approach this? So I noticed that when I got Marvel's Forge from X-Men, Homeboy has a mustache, right? He's representing the melaninated, right? So basically, I was like, let me take this head. I have an extra hat from Gung Ho, and let me put it on him. Boom, that's Alpine right there. I had a pair of goggles I got from Black Ops Toys. That's the figure. So how do I bring the rest to life? Okay, let's see. I have an extra Cobra Island roadblock because I was going to do that as a different custom, and then I ended up not. So I was like, okay, I can use that body. I got an extra gung ho that I was going to use the Vala pack for. Vala has a declassified gear pack, so you can have a more truer version of gung ho, and that's a Big Bad Toy Store exclusive. So I don't need the hat, don't need the vest. Give it the Alpine. He needs Arctic wear. There's not a lot of Arctic Marvel Legends out there.
No,
however,
there's really not.
You have the Hoth series from Star Wars, the Black series. So you got to think outside the box. And you have to think of, when you're going to mix and match, what's the closest you can get to an actual Hasbro released figure? Sometimes the best fodder comes directly from that line. So the G.I. Joe Classified series is the best custom fodder for Joes. And then you have other Hasbro lines. Overwatch Ultimates. For a lot of reasons, a lot of people didn't get those figures, so they're heavily discounted. You can get them.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can get them mad cheap, and they have a lot of them have accessories, visors, pads, shoulder gauntlets, stuff like that.
Hands, boots, shoes, holsters. And so yeah, man, it's like we're like cannibals almost. It's like grab the vivisector, like that kind of thing. And so anyway, I have a Hoth Trooper. Boom, I have Arctic legs, I have Arctic arms. I have a heat dryer. I used to do boil and pop, but after you start putting on paint and sealant, you put it back into water and you get messy very quickly. So I like using a heat dryer. And all of a sudden, even though I have not built this yet, I have everything I need to bring this beloved character Alpine to life. All I need is primer and paint and style. And there it is.
Did you want to finish? Is he ready to show? Or do you have him?
No, but stay tuned. I'll
definitely.
Share that
definitely either have you back or your own channel as well. Yeah, I know you're going to be showing a lot of figs. So, what about you, Kev? What you got going? I know you have a Kit Bash extraordinaire to show.
I have a bunch of stuff to show as well, but so just keeping with the G.I. Joe theme. Long time ago, during the 25th anniversary, I guess 35th anniversary, when they did the 3 3/4 line. One figure that they never gave us in that line that everybody was clamoring for because they completed the rest of the team except for this character. They never gave us Globulus from Cobra Law. If you ever watch the old cartoon, the 1987 G.I. Joe cartoon, the one where Duke almost died and then Doc made the announcement, he says,
he's okay!
Duke's gonna pull through. There was a lot of angry moms that were mad about the death of Optimus Prime, so they changed that at the last minute. So I made this custom of Globulus. Here he is.
Awesome.
Very nice.
So, I mean, I'm pretty impressed with myself with it, but I can't take all the credit because that bottom part is from a line called Vitruvian Hex. Have you ever heard of them? This was it was the Gorgon. It was the Medusa.
Yep.
So I was like, you know what? And I didn't even really have to repaint it much because it was already painted that color that Globulus is. And then the top piece, the arms, is from, I don't know what figure I used for the arms, but I know that the head and the body was from a place called the Angel Forge. And if you go on their website, they sell a lot of 3 3/4 parts to make figures that, Hasbro never gave us or the G.I. Joe Club never gave us.
Right.
And the gun, I think, is just some random gun. What I'm looking for is that, the little pokey thing that had the worm that was spinning around.
Yeah.
That I think Falcon at the very end shoved it, right in his eye.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I got the leader of Cobra Law, and Hasbro did give us Pythona, and they also gave us Nemesis
Enforcer.
And they didn't give us a guard. I could show you a guard if you want to. I did a custom of a guard too, if you want to see what I did.
Now, while you're getting that, I have a question. Did they have that figure, Globulus, when we were kids? Like because I could have swore I had a toy like that when I was a kid.
They gave us a 3-pack of Globulus, Nemesis, Enforcer. And
that's right. I had that as a kid. And I'm seeing it brought back so many memories.
That's my custom of my guard, my Cobra Law guard.
That's awesome.
And I did 3 of those. This I did from the head once again, Angel Forge. But the body is from a Dark Elf figure from the Thor 2 line.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you remember that line? It was a 3 3/4 when they were doing the Marvel. I don't know if it was Marvel Legends. It was a 3 3/4.
Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
The Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
So they did Thor Part 2. What was it called? Thor: The Dark World.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it was,
they had the Dark Elves with the
yeah,
Power
that's what
Stone. I
it
think
was.
it was. The
It
red
was
one.
it was a Dark Elf, and they were a little pricey because I jumped on those late too. But I was like, I'm gonna buy 3 of them. It's worth it for like a small little army of Cobra Law guards. Yeah, and there's my Cobra Law.
Right, that's awesome. Yeah, going back into GI Joe when I was a kid, like I said, I had that fig. I used to, as a teenager, I'd have my old toys. Of course, when we were kids, we played with our vehicles. We played with our GI Joe. I mean, I blew up firecrackers, pretending they were explosions in the tanks and stuff. So they were all beat by the time I was a young adult. So now I used to go in and just because my father was big into models, like actual airplane models, and so I get exposed to modding just by him building stuff and painting. I got into Warhammer 40K for a little while when I was younger because I loved the painting and the modding weapons to them and all that. So like GI Joe figs, I used to mod my vehicles. Take some busted parts from another tank, put it for I had this I remember this I don't even remember what it was called, but it was a tank that used to drop mines. It was like pinkish red and tan.
Oh, that's the Cobra Fury.
Yes, I had that, and I remember half of it was busted, mine were gone. So I took that and the his tank treads, and I modified it all and put it up on my mantle. Even as at 14 years old, I was tricking out toys. It was
Yeah.
nothing as beautiful as you guys. It was pretty crude, melted plastic and Nautical glue. But
Oh, when I was a little kid, I used to bury my GI Joes. Like they'd die, and I'd bury them in the yard. I'd be like, well, I have like a little graveyard in my backyard, and like little
yeah,
crosses and stuff. And
you told me that. I said somebody's gonna dig that up in the winter house one day and be rich. They'll find like 1,000 little toys throughout the yard. Not complete 80s era set of action figures.
yeah.
So we're gonna go into our second fig today. I know, Kevin, if you want to keep it rolling, you have something special to show us. 2 different figs, I think it is.
Yes. So another popular base figure that people have been using is Eric Killmonger. In fact, let's see what I have here. So here's Eric Killmonger from Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
And great movie, one of the best MCU villains. For whatever reason, this figure was $10 on a Hasbro toy shop on eBay or Overstock. I regret letting people know, it's like, hey, you can go to Overstock and get this for $10. They're like, thanks, sold out.
Oh.
I should have just told you all about it, but that's okay. That's okay. So seeing it, I love the fit. Here, let's go back to it. So like you can see like the camo print on the pants. You see the greebling. So greebling's like extra details. That's a term that model makers use. Star Wars, a lot of what they did for the movies was greebling. So you see like grenades, holsters, all that good stuff.
All the
right?
awesome accessories, the guns.
Exactly. So with a figure like this, I pretty much don't need to push it. It's already a military figure. It already looks fantastic. So here's Stalker. And so what I did was I was able, once again, to go on Monkey Depot or Black Ops Toys, and I got this beret. I used an X-Acto knife. You have to be very careful. It took a long time to heal. You got to be careful with those X-Acto blades. Chopped off the dreadlocks, and then I put on the beret. Once again, using a Vallejo surface primer, I used their NATO green primer, and I painted each part of the arms. Pop off the arms, pop off the biceps, pop off everything. Paint it separate, and then put it all back together. So with the camo already having a beige camo print, I basically had to emulate that, but with a green base to make it closer to the original character. So this one was actually pretty quick. This one was just really laying to which 6-inch figure is already there. What do I have to push the least amount? Because I have so many figures I want to make and so many other customs I want to do. So this one was a lot of fun because it was just basically headcanon saying this vest is really standard issue Joe armor.
Yeah. So you were very lucky then with that because you already had 90% of your figure already picked out and planned, and then you just had to customize the head to make it more cinematic universe, like actual look like the actor, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
You did a really good job. I'm gonna start calling you KJ the Ripper or the Reaper, whichever way you want to call it, because the way you're dissecting figs and putting them all together,
Hey, that'll be my stage name. Like,
right. So I know Kevin has something he wants to show. You have maybe 2 guys or a 2-pack of sorts that you've done.
I got a couple of characters to show you. Just stepping out of the Joe universe and into Marvel Legends. Both of you know how obsessed I was with getting that Hellfire Club 4-pack from Hasbro. Right. Hasbro PulseCon.
Yeah.
But the one thing that they glaringly omitted from that 4-pack is they omitted the other 2 characters that are part of the Hellfire Club, and that's Jason Wingard and Harry Leyland. So I actually I customized them both. So right here I'm going to show you Jason Wingard, otherwise known as Mastermind.
Mm-hmm.
He was not an easy custom, but he wasn't a difficult custom. Just like Kevin, I use the Vallejo paints myself. They're a really good high quality acrylic. So when I paint, like I use these Vallejo paints. It's part of my process. And then you just got to really get in there with a detailing brush. And the head I used is an Adam Warlock alternate head from the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yep.
And so the head basically, it's the same head, but I did have to sculpt on his beard. When I sculpt, I'm not a great sculptor. I'm a better painter. But when I sculpt, I use this stuff. It's called Fix It.
Okay.
It's a two-part epoxy. So you
Yep.
you mix it together, you mold it into like a little ball, and then I had to, like, with an X-Acto knife, I had to
Carve out the beard.
I had to make I had to carve out the beard, and I think I did a pretty good job, actually. I was like pretty impressed with how like symmetrical the beard looked on the face. The mustache is just painted on there. I just painted the mustache on him, but everything else is it was basically a reused Donald Pierce, because basically they have the same body, but I had to repaint because Jason does have the he's got a magenta. I guess that's like an overcoat or whatever.
Yeah. Gentleman's coat, as you will.
Gentleman's coat, yes. He's quite a gentleman. He in the cartoon he went and made he woke up Dark Phoenix, so he was responsible for getting inside Jean Grey's head.
Always the ladies' man. Might as well go for the top. But yeah, those chops are pretty awesome, by the way, in that fig. I wouldn't have known that they were molded on. I thought you would have thought they were originally there.
Thanks. And then this guy is Harry Leyland. And so what I had to do, and I know he's supposed to have the cravat, not the bow tie, but I needed to, find a guy that's a little bit more full-figured, a little portly, because Harry he's a chunky dude. And the head is basically from Thunderstrike that just came out for the Joe Fix-It, because his head does look a lot like Harry Leyland, and he does have a ponytail, and so does Harry Leyland. So I basically I was just racking my brain. I'm like, I don't know what kind of who's chubby. I know Jason from our chat used Doc Ock, and I'm like, yeah, Doc Ock would make sense, but I was just like, I don't like that's going to be a lot of like modding that I have to do for Doc Ock, because then that overcoat isn't going to fit over Doc Ock's body. You're going to have to mod that, and I'm like, I'm not comfortable with that. So what I did do is I went on eBay and I searched a lot of different figures, and I used an old Penguin figure from the DC line, from the Mattel DC line, when they did all those DC figures.
Yep.
Only issue with that is that what I didn't remember is that Penguin they made him to scale. They made him very short, and Harry Leyland is not short. He's pretty much the same size as the other guys, a little taller actually. So I had to use a little bit of that Fix-It sculpt. I had to cut off the bottom, and then I had to like modify and make his thighs bigger, and I had to sculpt I had to do a little filling in there to make him taller.
You can see he's a little portly. I mean, if now that you say that it came from a penguin base, I can look at it. I'm like, yep, the penguin. You got the penguin bulge to the gut there. You got that S curve going. But if you wouldn't have said that, I wouldn't have known that's such a good epoxy play on the legs too. I mean,
thanks. So those are made. So like now I have a complete Hellfire club. I'm not sure if Hasbro will give us that. They are allegedly doing called Bring on the Villains wave next year. One of them could possibly be in it. Leyland could possibly be the Build-A-Figure, although I doubt it. I think it's probably going to be Mojo, or maybe it'll be another Blob.
I hope it's not another Blob. I want something new.
Well, I hope it's not. Well, Mojo is they never did it. Hasbro never did Mojo. That's the one that they did was Toy Biz.
Yep.
So, I mean, he could stand a Hasbro update, make him a little softer looking, but I'm okay with the Mojo that I had. I'm with you. I'd rather something new personally too. And
right. I mean, this, that whole line, that whole thing, it's missing that like panache or, the pizzazz, I guess you would say. I hear you have a pizzazz gem you might want to show today.
Yes.
That is truly outrageous.
I did make a girl that's a little truly outrageous, not Gem herself, but her enemy, Pizzazz, because I was saying to myself, Hasbro has this they have this property and they're not doing anything with it. And I was like, that, you know, gem in the holograms probably would lend itself, you know, well to either like an action figure line or a new line of dolls for girls to play with. And I was like, you know what, I'd like to try my hand at making a pizzazz figure. And so here she is. She's got the guitar.
Awesome.
She's got the guitar. I gave her fishnet stockings, and she's also got that 80s pink like coloring on her jacket, which, see, the neon pink that Vallejo has, unfortunately, it bubbles up.
Yeah.
And I tried putting a primer on the jacket. This is actually this is the head of Polaris, and then the body, most of the body is Typhoid Mary.
Yep. That's awesome.
And the guitar, thanks to Jason, he sent that to me. This guitar was from that Deadpool Hit Monkey 2-pack.
Yeah.
Where Deadpool was in like the leisure suit.
Yeah.
And he said to me, he's like, I don't need this guitar. He's like, do you want a guitar, dude? He goes, it looks pretty 80s to me, and it kind of does.
Yeah.
So he just sent that to me free, which is pretty dope.
So Kevin, do me a favor, bring that right to the camera because there's so many colors. I mean, that is so awesome. Yeah. I mean, you can even see the base makeup and the everything. It looks awesome. You did a really good job.
Thanks.
Really good job. Now, not to throw us off course at all, you know, don't want to curse or jinx the episode. Anyway, if we were, you know, KJ, what do you got going? Let's see our last pick for the day.
All right. So this is actually my very first custom ever. This is Jinx, also known as Kim Arashikage. And this one was a lot of fun because I would see this on Instagram or on Facebook. I was like, I got to try it. And the base fig, once again, very cheap. Lady Deadpool is $10. If you look close enough, you can get it for even $8 or $9. So I got one. I even sent one to a friend of mine who's also a customizer. And I really dig this because the head sculpt I used is Netflix Elektra. And the thing about that is the actress who played Elektra on Netflix is Elodie Young, who also played Jinx in G.I. Joe Retaliation.
Yeah.
So in a sense, this is kind of like a screen-accurate action figure, 6-inch scale from G.I. Joe Retaliation that just didn't get released. And once again, it's just really looking at what the original figure is, how close of a base figure we can get to that. There are even other variants of Jinx that match what Lady Deadpool looks like with the black on the side and everything else. So there's still little bits and pieces I can still add to this. The red's a little bit different. I actually have red surface primer from Vallejo. And if I want to, I can do a paint down to make everything match. This is fine for me. There's other decals. Kevin, you were nice enough to offer me a Black Dragon decal, or like a water slide decal that I could use, or actually send this to you so you could paint it.
Yeah, I was gonna paint it on there because 6-inch figures are a lot easier for me to paint on than the 3 3/4 because they're a lot bigger. I have a custom Jinx that I did with the Vitruvian hacks and the Angel Forge, and I made her animated style. I don't have it. I don't have it. I have to dig it out because it's buried in all my boxes and stuff. But that looks great. Yeah. And he told me about that. I was like, I have both those figures, and I think if I'm not mistaken, does that Elektra have 2 heads?
It does have 2 heads, so you can actually use the main head that has Elodie Young's full face, and you can tie like a little piece of fabric around for her blindfold. So you can go blindfold or you can go face mask. The original vintage character was masked, and then there are other variants that include a blindfold, like in the Collector's Club version, that sort of. And if they actually ever do a classified version, it'll probably be closer to that.
Yeah, Jinx is one of my favorite characters. A very underutilized character that I was hoping after the G.I. Joe movie, when they went into the Deke series, in Cobra Commander, when they, Baroness had that thing where she turned him from a snake back into Cobra Commander, the Deke series.
Operation Dragonfire.
Yes, I was hoping that they would have included some of those characters. I think the only one that made an appearance in that entire run was just Falcon, and he was I think he was a drug addict actually. He had a
yeah, right.
They did like an episode. It was like towards the end of the season, and I was like, this is pretty heavy for like little kids to be.
Yeah, that was, you got to remember too. That was also post Reagan, say no to drugs. So I mean, G.I. Joe, the American Hero, and all these different cartoons.
Yeah, Flintstone
that
kids.
era had those hidden messages, say no to drugs or don't
Yeah.
do this or I mean,
It
we
was-
all grew up watching those cartoons, and we kind of all got
Buy
that.
our toys. Don't do drugs.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, don't. Yeah. Pop by the power of Grayskull. Spend your mother's parents' money. Don't do drugs. Don't worry about that. This is the drug. Toys. Collect them now, guys, because when you guys are middle-aged men, you're gonna be rebuying them on the secondary market, spending half your paychecks.
Yeah.
So, I mean, overall, those custom figs were awesome. I mean, we're getting to the wrap up of the show now. Any closing, thoughts about what you guys, anything projects you're going to be doing for any holiday shopping you're expecting to do for customization of pots or anything? KJ, if you want to start that out, or actually, Kevin, go ahead. You look like you have something.
Yeah.
Well, I do actually have something to show that I'm going to be working on. I gotta go. It's out. Give me.
We got about 1 minute.
Yeah, let me go get it, and I'll be
All
right
right.
back.
I'm gonna let KJ talk while you're getting it. So,
I love using Camel. They have price watches. So if you're looking for figures you want to use for custom fodder, I would say look at those. And then once you get the alert, snag them, shop around, use eBay, use Google Shopping. Think outside the box. You can't find a Marvel Legends, go to Star Wars. That doesn't work, go to Mattel. Use McFarlane toys. Be creative and really try to bring that figure to life in 6-inch scale. I am working on a YouTube channel. I will let all of you know on Toy Kind of Mood when it drops. But you can follow me at NivekJ1, NIVEKJ1 on Twitter and Instagram, and that's where you'll get the news.
That's right. Sorry, Kev, we're running out of time. Do you want to do a sign off? Anywhere we can find your goods? Do you just want to say thanks for coming, yada yada?
I'm not going to talk about it, but I'm just going to show a teaser of it.
Go ahead.
Speaking of G.I. Joe females, who do you think I'm going to be making soon?
Oh, what a way to drop the show, folks. You audio listeners better get in here and take a look at this because we are not spoiling it verbally. You got to watch the show to find it out. This has been a Toy Kind of Mood. My name is Ron. KJ, thank you. Kevin, always a pleasure. Hope you come back again. We want you back again.
Of course.
And from us to yous, thank you very much for watching. From mass to the world,